The first deliveries of Russia's S-400 missile defense systems arrived in Turkey today, moving the NATO member closer to a new standoff with the United States. Washington has warned Turkey with sanctions over the purchase, but Ankara repeatedly stood by the deal, which signals a warming of ties with Moscow. Senior U.S. defense officials will hold a press briefing on the Pentagon's response later this hour. We'll be bringing you their statements live. I'm joined now in Moscow by journalist Julia Chapman, in Washington, D.C. by James Phillips, a senior research fellow at the Heritage Foundation, and in Istanbul by Yusuf, Erim, analyst at Ankara at TRT World. Thank you all for joining us for this discussion this hour. Yusuf, I want to begin with you. And the biggest concern for the U.S. government, as you know, is the possibility of Turkey having both the S-400 systems that they received from Russia and the U.S. designed F-35 jets at the same time. American senators wrote this op-ed for the New York Times calling the purchase unacceptable. They say it could allow the Russians to understand how the F-35 operates. But Turkey hasn't really been addressing any of these concerns in its response to Washington. What do you make of Turkey's position on this purchase?
Well, actually, Turkey has addressed America's concerns. Turkey invited the U.S. to form a working group of technical experts to sit down and examine the S-400 and the F-35 and their relationship with each other to see if the stealth could be protected, if there was need for new programming to be written, new friend or foe identification software if needed. But this is a request that the United States has declined. Turkey even offered to invite NATO in as a third party to view the working group observation and the working group dialogue between both parties. And for some reason, the United States never really took Turkey up on this offer. And frankly, their stance regarding this kind of makes it feel like this is not just a technical issue. There's more of a political side to this issue as well.
Oh, we'll definitely come back to that point. But of course, that deal is concerning not only for the U.S. alone. Julia, over to you in Moscow. We know that that deal between Russia and Turkey raised concerns that Ankara might be drifting closer to Moscow's circle of influence, at least. From the Kremlin's perspective, Julia, how important is this deal with Turkey?
Well, the Kremlin certainly sees this move as hugely significant. This is a big PR victory for President Vladimir Putin, for Russia in general. It allows President Putin to show the world that Russia is not being isolated. It still has close allies, even allies who are willing to stand up to the United States in the face of sanctions and other threats as well. So President Putin certainly sees this as a very big success from his part. Of course, Russia says that there is no security risk for NATO for the F-35 fighter jet program. Russia says that the S-400 is simply the best of its kind on the market in the world, and that is why buyers like Turkey have been so keen to buy it and have pushed ahead with this purchase.
James, NATO today saying it was concerned by this acquisition after having warned Ankara, of course, repeatedly that the Russian S-400 is incompatible with other NATO weapons system, including that American F-35 fighter jet. We know that both the Congress and Mike Pompeo warned of punitive action. Aside from the sanctions that the U.S. is discussing, James, what do you think Washington's next move could be?
Well, I think at minimum it would be to officially end Turkish participation in the F-35 program, not only in terms of training pilots to learn how to fly, but frozen deliveries of the planes themselves, and probably the expulsion of Turkish companies from the production base, that the industrial base that actually builds part of the F-35. And I think one of the problems with the Turkish suggestion for a working group is that might mitigate some of the problems, but it wouldn't eliminate the security problems involved in Turkey's simultaneous deployment of the Russian missile defense as well as the F-35. So Turkey is welcome to have the Russian missiles, but that will eliminate the possibility that they will get the F-35.